Hello, it's Lucifer Fulci coming to you at the fall of April Ghoul's Day. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to a portion of my book, Vile Witches. Under the burning moon, the trinity of witches, their mentor and newest sister, awoke to a silence. Their eyes, still crusty from a transforming sleep, creaked open and hoped to see Lucifer before them. The smell of his legacy was absent, but a mild crackling of fire could be heard. It was a chore to awaken, with strength being absent. Their bones felt thin and hollow, and something was simply not right. "He has left us," Molly whimpered. She looked around and knew despair. "He left us for death." The witches looked around and felt panic. All began to cry, save for Cassandra, who was still picking off bugs from her skin. She was yet to feel the air on her skin, and her body was aching in ways that would have stayed with her for days. She felt her heart break as the sounds of sadness swelled. It was a true loss, an eviscerating sadness that she could feel as her own. They had united under the flag of evil and given one another a piece of themselves that they would always share. Beyond time and space, they were the stars that burned together. For Cassandra, she swallowed the peril that was her destiny, but it felt familiar to her. She had been here before, somehow, and it was all becoming clear. They were the lights of the morning, the specters of a frozen dream, melted by hellfire of the sun. Pieces of them were turning to stardust again, and their energy was vast and flowing. Their deeds kept the story of life and death moving and allowed energies to travel throughout the wormholes into new forms, new thoughts. Life was violent and needed to have a splash of blood in order to keep the balance of heaven and hell fruitful. Satan was posted, always and forever, at the height of all that is known to those of the flesh. They were limited to his game, but eternal nonetheless. Cassandra's part in this vast play on material roles was to be born again and again, to relive the dream of love and loss, of light and dark. She would burn forever, fallen to the bottom of the known universe. Cassiopeia reflected back to its demonic eyes and smiled, laying about and waiting for it again to take her and make her something more than just a floating, atmospheric oddity. She sat there then, fully aware that she was meant for this, as were her sisters. They too were stars and sights to behold. Lesser, for sure, but they had their part to play. Out of the woods, the sounds of fire crackling became clear. The mob was upon them. The fathers, brothers, and sons of Christ were there, and they were angry. They brandished weapons of all types, and their eyes were dedicated to the ending of such unholy acts of Satan. They surrounded the coven. The witches were afraid. But not Cassandra. She smiled and looked through the mob and found her father. He was near the back, astonished and unsure what to think. He called her name, and she responded in a voice not her own. "Hello, Father." The words had a slant of sarcasm, and her wry smile turned into a laugh. The mob spared none of them. She felt an escape, a birth and release. Like a furious comet, she swept through the galaxy and found her way past endless regions of planets. She soared on solar winds and transcended all known realities. The ancient gods giggled again as another game began. A volcano erupted on planet Earth. and storms brought down desolate buildings already crumbled from years of war and famine. The skies above were cracked and melting, and the people upon the planet, while still attempting a normal life, were failing and in denial. Cassandra landed like a bolt of lightning into her future form and opened her eyes. Sparks of energy lit behind them, and all things she touched would feel her shock. Without a second thought, she downloaded the information she needed to find the distant relatives of the mob from centuries past. She would love and kill them, offering up the innocent blood to her monstrous father, Satan, her true father, who became restless as he shined down from the heavens forever. In the den of the devil, his witches dance and cry, trapped and furious, ever kept from the holy sky. In the den of Satan, the horrors gather about, naked and beast-like, tortured and vile. If you like this and other stories such as this, you can find my work at luciferfulci.com, or very simply, seek me and you shall find me.